I had the game audio just a smidge too loud in the last one. I turned it down today.
Yay!
Yeah.
Let's see, whose do I need to go through? I've done Robos, I've done Marls, I've done Lucas' side story. Got Magus. I need to do
Each one of the characters have their own little self-contained side story we can do.
Yeah. And I gotta figure out where Frog's whatchamacallit is located at. Go up here.
Well, if we roam around aimlessly, I'm sure we'll come upon it eventually.
Well, I can't remember whether it's here or where. And none of this stuff was actually worth it. Look how much he's charging for it.
Yeah, that's outrageous.
Douche.
I see a 17,000 in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Did I just hear a niner?
So I sent you 2 things on Discord.
Yeah, I saw the axolotl thing.
That's a new game I'm looking into, but that was the 3rd thing. I said I sent you 2 things. They did a series called Poketunes that I want to take a look at. Then there's the YouTube channel that Sakurai made where he talks about game development. Now I really want to tackle that as a series. Like I want to react to it, add my own commentary to it. Now I feel like instead of us like venturing off onto a podcast, which we've played around with for a few years, we should do that. Even if we never do a podcast, we should tackle that as a series, because what we could do is watch it, react to it together, and then add our own 2 cents. You know, we pause the video because that's how a react video works, and then we discuss it. And that could be a short run series that doesn't go on forever. You know, it's a finite amount of material and we would have a clear ending. As far as the Poketunes thing goes, it's tricky to do some things like that because when it comes to YouTube, you want to own as much of the material on screen as humanly possible. Which is hard to do unless you have filmed something with your phone or a camera in person, or you're doing gameplay.
Is that why all those React videos are just guys reacting randomly? But they're not actually showing what they're reacting to on screen? Fuck. Hold on one sec. Can you mute me for just a moment?
I surely can. He's got a work call. All right, while he takes that work call, I'll chat with you guys. But yeah, it's you know, it's I've talked about this before. It's hard to do certain content on YouTube because, you know, everybody's got their hand out in general, you know, in life. But as far as YouTube is concerned, it's really bad because it's an automated copyright system that is very, like, not great to begin with. And then people abuse it. So a lot of times I've done a vlog or something where I'll put in like Animal Crossing music or Nintendo music and it'll get claimed, but not by Nintendo themselves. It'll get claimed by some random jackass out there who might have made like a remix of the song, and he you know, the automated system has flagged it thinking that you're copying his music, not understanding the nuances and gray areas of that. You know, oh, well, he's already copying too. And it can be problematic to react to super, you can't really do reacts to movies, TV show, music, stuff like that. People on YouTube do it, but they fight tooth and nail over the copyright stuff to put those episodes out. Me, I'm a small, teeny, tiny channel with no way to protect myself. You know, I don't have a fancy lawyer or money to hire a fancy lawyer. So if anybody comes for me on YouTube, my channel is just going to get shot out of a cannon into the sun. So I typically have just stuck to the gameplay stuff over the years. And it's agitating because I really want to branch out. I really want to discuss movies and TV and stuff like that, but you can't. Because so many of the channels that I've watched over the years have crumbled and fell because of copyright. Even though it's fair use to use a small 2-second clip, you know, it's stupid. You all done? Nope, guess not. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Am I unmuted back on here?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Now I need to figure out where this. See, I want to say it's probably in the Middle Ages. I don't think it'd be in here. No, my coworkers, so our AC kind of froze up the other night, and so he's just coming down here to make sure we have enough Freon in the unit.
Don't look at him. He's over there doing the crops.
Hashtag badass.
I like
Can I
that.
go in the magic cave now?
I like that little detail.
I know. Oh, this just leads me to the Fiend Lord's cave. Do. Okay, right now we're looking for a grave marker.
What about the one that's up on that cliff?
What cliff?
You know, the one that looks like Smash Brothers Brawl.
I don't know where that's at.
I commented on it in the past. We talked about how it's a cliche in Japanese anime and stuff. There's always like the cliff overlooking the water, overlooking the ocean with the sunset in the distance. We talked about this. And you talked about how it wasn't just anime. Everybody does that. That's the cliche of the lighthouse up on the bluff overlooking the ocean, you know.
Why'd I do that? Why am I missing these guys?
I don't know
What
why.
the
You
shit?
have no idea what I'm talking about.
What the heck?
Yeah, for some reason, today is Wednesday, but it's baked into my brain that it's a Saturday. No idea why.
How are these guys killing me so quickly?
Good question. They're just random enemies, right?
Yeah, I wasn't able to hit him at all. That was weird. Alright, well, we're gonna do this. But look how much damage they're doing to me.
Is that a lot? That doesn't seem like a lot.
No, they did 500 damage before that.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know where we are.
I don't
No.
either.
What
don't even know
era
what this-
are we in?
Middle Ages, I think. Yeah, it's Middle Ages. That was weird. I don't think we've been in this area yet.
That might be why they're doing so much damage.
Yeah. Like there's nothing else here.
Yeah, I want to say it's on the northwestern part of one of these land masses. You're looking for like a ledge that overlooks the ocean. That's where you'll find that tombstone. It might be in modern times. I don't know. I remember it being green grass around it.
That'd be a waste of money.
Right before we went live, I was looking at an article where the creator of Final Fantasy said he felt like he was cheating on Nintendo by going over to Sony, and I was like, yeah, you kind of were, pal.
Now, to be fair, Nintendo was not doing what they were supposed to be doing with Square Enix, which is why they went over to Sony.
I'm fully aware.
As much as I would have loved to have gotten a Final Fantasy on the Nintendo 64. How do I go in the Northern Ruins? Alright, I gotta look this up right quick. See what's in the Northern Ruins.
600 AD and we don't know where to go. He's yelling at us.
Yeah, same move. Oh, so I'm actually in the right place. Okay.
Are you in the right time?
Correct. Nyong. Oh, we'll go ahead and do this.
Did you
Get
need
ourselves taken care of. Huh?
to? Did you need to?
Can't hurt. Mayor's Manor. It's lain in ruins for centuries. What is that creepy dude talking about the Black Omen? Come on, man. You just want people to die, sir.
It's what they call the
Okay.
Black Death. What's the Black Death, Chef? LaToya Jackson. But I think back in those times it meant something else.
Oh, what the shit?
So I watched The Simpsons season 36 premiere. And everybody's talking about it because they did something different. They aired the series finale as a season opener.
That's weird.
Yeah. Conan O'Brien was a writer on the show in its first handful of seasons. So they brought him back to do a cameo. And he comes out on stage and he introduces this little box called Hack GPT. And he says, this AI is going to write the Simpsons series finale. And he talks about how the show's been on the air for 30 some odd years. They point out all the guests that have appeared, the celebrities that have appeared over the years. It's really funny. And the whole episode deals with Bart kind of, because all the characters in Springfield are kind of, the episode kind of puts a closure to every one of the characters. Like Comic Book Guy has a baby with his wife that they introduced a handful of seasons ago, and then he closes the comic book shop. Skinner ends up becoming like a superintendent somewhere in another district and leaves the school. And they keep having this gag where they turn off the lights in a room that Bart's in, and they're like, I'm gonna miss this place. And Bart's like, why does everybody keep saying that? Because the whole episode kind of it stems around Bart turning 11. He's like, no, I can't turn 11. I'm 10. I've always been 10. I'll always be 10. I thought it was really good. I did. I thought it was really good. I loved it. Meanwhile, I don't know what the fuck Futurama's doing over in the corner. It's like when you look over and you see a cat doing that crotch licking thing and you make eye contact and the cat's like, what? Just doing a cat thing, and you're like, yeah, but it's disgusting. The cat's like, well, what do you want from me? Figured it out yet?
Yeah.
Ghost? Gluttons for fun. Yeah, no, I'm sitting here enjoying the music.
Listen to the music.
A lot of nothing happening on screen.
I mean, there's a little bit happening on the screen.
Now, there's nothing. You're just doing boring RPG stuff.
I'll be a carpenter just like my dad. No, you'll be a drunk just like your dad, buddy. You'll be an alcoholic.
It's evil.
But is it wrong?
I don't know. I don't know that kid.
My point exactly. I don't know that little bastard either. They're over here now. Our master's at the tavern. Go fucking figure. Yay!
What do we need them to work on?
You're about to find out. Remember, we're traveling through time.
Hey, there's that tombstone up there in the top left corner you were looking
Hey!
for. See?
Exactly what I was looking for.
Just as I described it.
Oh, that's Toma's tombstone, not Cyrus's.
It's the only tombstone I've
Cyrus
seen.
is who we're looking for.
She's the only one in the game I know of. I don't even think we've
What
seen
the
a...
fuck?
I don't even think we've seen a cemetery. This is to figure out where we go next episode.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to finish like the storylines for the different characters, just that way people get the full effect of it.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. I'm not complaining. I'm just like...
You're complaining.
No, I'm poking fun at it. There's a difference.
Whatever you say, master. What the shit?
Uh-oh.
Bye-bye. Tinky Winky. Allah. Uh-oh.
That was truly a bizarre time in television.
Oh, yay. Great. Fire.
These guys again?
Well, apparently. At least I'm able to do some damage to him. Oh, that little dick.
Yeah, I feel that. I felt that one in my soul.
And I'm sure you know exactly what's about to happen.
No, not really.
Well, we're gonna get rid of them quickly. It's not about to spend hours just sitting here fighting these bastards.
Why do I smell cologne or perfume?
I do not know.
So strongly that it's burning my eyes.
Alright, guys.
Oh yeah, we were going to talk about the thing you sent me.
Yeah, Smash Brothers. Now, you were pretty much talking about how they should go ahead and just sunset the series entirely, and I'm like, they have so many more characters that they can put in those games.
Now hold on, I didn't say that.
But you said it needs to be pretty much sunsetted.
No, I said you're going to see diminishing returns. There's a difference.
Oh, yeah. No, I disagree. Because it's not like every character is going to have the exact same, like, fighting style.
You're tying the performance of the game and its success on who the roster is, which is a fatal flaw to begin with. I'm more looking at it from an outsider's point of view of like, okay, Sakurai's made everyone sense. He's not going to be around to keep working on it. So eventually, just like Bugs Bunny or any other character in existence, the creator's going to either retire or die, or the company that owns it's going to go a different way, give it to somebody else. The creativity is going to change, so the angle of the content's going to change. And that's more what I was talking about. You're going to note, like, eventually you're going to wake up one day to a new Smash Brothers that Sakurai's had zero hand in, and it's going to be a different experience. Completely.
Hey, I disagree.
I mean, Smash Brothers was never meant to be a long-running series in the first place, but I think that's how most series that we know and love today are born. Most of our movies, most of our games they're meant to be like this creative little thing that pops up. You enjoy the one thing, and then it's meant to go away. Well, you found it. Have you noticed that every time we sit here and don't talk, long periods of nothing happen in this game, but when we try to get into a conversation, all of a sudden it's plot, plot, plot?
Yeah.
Because I've noticed that every single stream we do of this game.
Yeah.
I find it highly annoying.
Is this lost?
You got a new weapon.
Oh no, we've had that weapon.
Never mind.
Remember, the weapon is sentient, though.
I would say that's pretty much a universal truth that comes through in a lot of the media we consume. A lot,
Yeah.
you know, our loved ones are pretty much our greatest strength and our greatest weakness. And I mean that
Yeah.
on a multitude of levels. It's hard to go off and fight a battle and then like put everybody out of your mind and focus on the battle. Especially when there's a lot going on at home, you know, you're just like, oh, well, I've got this stress and that stress and this stress and that stress.
Yeah.
But then you can ask any soldier and they'll tell you that kind of flies out the window the second that you're in the heat of battle, because you do not have time to think. You don't have time for any thought whatsoever. It's like, ah! It's just constant scream.
That is correct. Alright, let's go talk to him again. Get him to work on that so we can get a few other items.
I can't get this battery cover open.
Battery cover?
I'm trying to open the remote for my air conditioner. I'm trying to open the little tray that has the battery in it so I can look at it. I can't get it to open.
Yay, now I can go in here. And the useless item.
Aha.
We'll go over here first.
Oh, no wonder I couldn't get it open. The battery was out of, jarred out of place. But I have a handy dandy letter opener that I can use for stabbing.
All status ailments.
It's my stabbing knife.
You guys again? Can y'all just leave me alone?
But no, that's just what gamers like to do. They like to talk about the Smash Brother roster. They like to talk about the roster in other games too, but Smash Brothers is more our conversation. And yeah, we could talk about that to the end of time, but I'm just saying,
I mean, here's my thing. They can be doing a lot with the Smash Brothers roster to begin with. I mean, honestly, you got super duper pissed off that they put in a lot of sword characters.
Yeah, it's too many.
So obviously, there were a lot that you thought could have been in there. Yeah. And we're gonna kill you guys too.
I mean, like, here's the thing. My opinions aside, though, is what I'm going for here. Like, World Mario Kart, what? 22. There, every Nintendo console has a Mario, an Animal Crossing, a Mario Kart, a Pokemon times 12. It has a this and a that. There are staples for each console that gets released, and typically there's only one Smash Brothers per era, per console. And I'm just saying that in the next, I don't know, 2 or 3 console cycles, we're fortunate enough to still be around to see that. You're going to see like diminishing returns. It'll be new people that work on it. It won't be quite the same. It won't have the same soul that you're used to, and then your opinion will wane on it.
I kind of disagree with that, and the reason I disagree with that is I feel like Sakurai himself is stagnating.
Well, everybody does when you make the same game 12 times.
Yeah.
Which is what it is, and that's not his fault. That's just that's capitalism. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not his fault. My opinion, and in fact, capitalism will always be the enemy of art and entertainment. Like the #1 enemy. And like I said, they're going to want a Smash Brothers for every console going forward because they know it'll sell like hotcakes.
Well, they know it'll sell the system like hotcakes, that's for damn sure.
That's why I kept saying my opinion aside, Hello,
yeah.
Ray, Griff, or Neor, or as you are more commonly known on YouTube as Griffor14. Hello.
Oh, he's now Griffor14? I'm not seeing him chat inside the thing.
Oh, did it not come up on screen?
No. Well, I see him chatting in here, but not inside the chat box.
Oh, I have it set to disappear after a few seconds.
Oh, gotcha. Oh,
I
that
flip,
explains it.
yeah, I flip back and forth on that depending on what game we're playing. Like if you see me playing Pokemon where there's extra room on the side of the screen, I leave chat on there permanently. But in a game like this, there's a lot of text on screen, and chat was getting in was getting in the way of a lot of like the story element and the plot and the character dialogue boxes in the first few streams we did of this game. And I was like, you know what? We'll just have chat come up and then vanish. It's a thing I toggle in the settings in Streamlabs.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I don't know. It's thinking about Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U. I don't think Nintendo themselves could have imagined that it would like still be running this many years, on a new system under a new name and everything as the deluxe version. Because if you look at the character roster, it was just a few Mario characters, and then all the Koopa kits ate up so many slots. And,
God, they did.
And I think
I was happy when they brought like Animal Crossing over there, as well as like Link. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I think Mario Kart can actually branch out like that and include a bunch of different characters.
I do too. And I don't think it was a bad thing. I'm not at all saying it was a bad thing. I'm just saying like they didn't have hindsight when they first made Mario Kart 8. They were just like, well, we got to make a Mario Kart for this generation of consoles because that's just what we do. And now the Switch did not have its own native Mario Kart. It borrowed from the Wii U. And we're probably never going to see another Mario Kart for the Switch. The Switch will be kind of the one exception over the years. It'll end up being the one console that got skipped from Mario Kart as far as its own brand new IP of Mario Kart. And we'll end up seeing like Mario Kart 9 on or 10. I think Tour
is it 10?
I think Tour is considered 9. I'm not sure.
Ew, no, we're calling it Mario Kart 9. Tour sucks.
Well, that's not what Nintendo does. You and I can do things all day, but that's not how they operate.
No.
Yeah,
no. Nintendo's kind of dumb when it comes to that kind of stuff.
They count Tour as a mainline game. So I think
it shouldn't be.
So it'll either be 9 or 10 on the Switch too. But yeah, it's just one of those things that everybody does. Everybody likes to bitch about the roster of any given game. And I don't mind when people do that because it shows passion, I don't think this character should have been included. Well, they didn't add my favorite character, hubbub. I don't see a problem with people doing that. It's just when they get online and take it too far on social media, then it kind of gets dumb. But like harassing people,
I get it.
People have done that in the past. They get online and they harass actual game developers on Twitter and stuff. And I'm just like, fuck off. Get a life.
Oh, I gotta find out what they did with the Sunstone. That would have been, I think, presents. No, it would have been the end. Toma, dude. Hey, Griffhor 14, where do I go to find the Sunstone?
Watch it be somewhere ironically dark.
That would be funny.
Instead of somewhere bright and chipper.
Where to find Sunstone?
Oh, do you want to... I meant to ask you. It's been a while since they released F-Zero 99 or whatever it's called on the Switch. I did one episode of it when it first came out. I'm planning to do some more because they've added a shit ton of stuff to the game. And I'd like to play it with some people, but I don't know who else has it. It's free software. You just download it on the Switch and play it. It was really fun from what I played of it back in the day. I thought it was really fun. But I'm going to be playing some more of that coming up. In the future, he says. In the future.
No, I've already gotten the Sunstone.
Then what do you do with it? Up your butt.
I gotta go up here. And I gotta go to poor, that's right. I don't think this is poor.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna go blow my nose. I hope I'm not getting sick.
Oh no.
I woke up choking on acid reflux, so that might be the culprit. I don't know. I'll be right back.
Yeah. No, he's in a poor. You're a Medina. A funky cold Medina. It's literally showing right over here. I'm an idiot. I saw this earlier. Well, how do I get it out of here? I gotta have Luca. Oh, that's right. That's what I need to do. Boom.
I'm back. What we working on? Same thing?
Yeah, pretty much. This only takes about a second.
I don't care how long it takes. It'll take as long as it takes. But going back to what we were talking about at the beginning of this episode, yeah, it can be really complicated and hard to do things on YouTube that aren't centered around like Let's Plays. Because so many times you'll do a reaction video to something, and if, the copyright holder will pitch a titty fit over. And then a lot of times too, they'll do it just out of spite because they don't like what you had to say. That's a big problem too. There's been plenty of stuff that I've had to delete over the years on YouTube because of copyright. I didn't have to, I chose to. Let me phrase that. But
there we go. I love my daddy.
But all that aside, I definitely think looking at the Sakurai stuff would be a good thing for you and I to do. I'm sure we'd have a lot of opinions to go over.
Oh, God, yeah. Especially on some Smash Brothers.
So we're going to look into that as soon as... We're not going to do it until we finish at least one game you've got going on, because you've started like 12.
So, yeah, that's why I'm working on this one, so we can finish it. I mean, we're fairly close to getting to the ending of it. Anyway.
Diablo 4.
Cool, Diablo 4 is on sale.
I see this.
Yes, put the moonstone there.
That game I sent you earlier is on sale too, but unfortunately I was broke.
Yeah, I feel you.
I think that's how every Steam owner in the world operates. Every Steam
Pretty
user,
much. Well, that's why I said after I get off and get a lot of these. What was I saying? Oh yeah, after I get a lot of this stuff paid off, I'm going to be putting probably around 1,000 to 2,000 just sitting in my thing.
I didn't do any stretching when I woke up, and I'm paying for it.
Oh man, Tiff said she's going to Vegas for her sales conference thing.
For a work thing?
Yeah, for a work thing.
Damn.
I was like, what? Can I come? I mean, I still got like $900 in credit on a freaking plane ticket.
You just tell him, like, this is my assistant. Yeah, he's my assistant. Y'all doing an awful lot of kissing for him to be your assistant. Well, the job comes with really good benefits. We'll just vacuum pack it into a cartridge.
Right? Just put me in a box.
I'm reading what she said on screen.
Oh.
Waiting on you to press A.
All right. And it's finished.
Victory dance. I learned the other day they won't let the football players dance in the end zone anymore, and I thought that's the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard.
I mean, I can see why.
I don't. It's poor sportsmanship. How? How? It's a victory dance. They got a point.
Yay, I got the sunglasses. Sweet. Boost damage. Diablo 4 is only that much.
How much is it?
$29.99.
That's a lot.
Go ahead and equip her with her best weapon.
When I saw it go on
Playtime determines damage. Okay.
that's neat.
Right?
Yeah, when it went on sale, I figured it'd be cheaper than
She
that.
still needs to learn. She still needs to learn that one. And a few others. Oh, what we're going to do, we're in the present right now. We're gonna go over to here. Wherever that little floating thing is.
What little floating
There we
thing?
go.
That?
Yeah.
That's not a little floating thing. That's somebody's compensation castle.
Hey. But I'm also doing this to go ahead and build up her text too. Sweet. Get her leveled on up too. Let me give her.
The Deadpool movie
Better
is up on the
equipment.
website, by the way. Probably gonna watch that tonight. If not tonight, at least the next day or so. That's what I was telling Thomas. I was like, yeah, I don't like the Marvel movies and the superhero shit, but I like Deadpool. I'll watch Deadpool. I mean, at the end of the day, it's satire, and I love me some satire.
Oh, it's definitely some satire. That's for damn sure.
I also had an epiphany the other day. Yesterday, I think it was. I've come to realize that I like watching YouTube videos where people talk about movies more than watching the movie itself. Now, that boils down to movies I've already seen. I like to put on a playlist of a YouTube channel I like, and then just watch review after review and hear all their talking points and stuff like that. And I've been doing that now for a handful of years, and I get more out of it hearing a discussion because I can learn a lot of behind the scenes stuff I didn't know. I learned a lot of industry stuff that I didn't know. And it's kind of almost like watching a documentary in a way. Not really, but kind of. And I find those videos very fascinating because you learn so much. You just have to find the right personalities to do it, because it can be one of those things that's done very poorly where it's just somebody raging for an hour, you know, because it wasn't handled the way they want. Now, no, that material I don't watch, you know. Let me be very clear about that. That's not what I mean when I say I watch people on YouTube review stuff. Typically, I'm not a fan of critics and reviews and things like that. I find it highly annoying. Like, what was their names? Ebert and Roger Ebert and the other guy. I hated them with a burning passion.
I don't remember their name, to be honest with you.
But everybody knows who I'm talking about. I hated them.
Okay.
I do hope that this game goes in depth into what Lavos actually is, instead of just, oh, he's generic space alien monster. I hope it tells me more.
I mean, it does as we proceed throughout the story. Boom.
I see a spaghetti monster.
Ooh.
It's like an evil version of those Scrub and Bubble mascots.
You just do bio on her.
Ridley Scott make this thing?
Wake up. He did blacken.
The Geiger creation.
Yeah.
I do want to watch the new Aliens movie that got made, though. Alien is another one of those franchises that's very unfortunate. I love
Alien is one of those ones I can watch here and there, but not a lot.
Well, it has Jurassic Park syndrome. Diminishing returns get worse every time. Especially after the third.
Yeah.
Like, I hated the third Alien movie. I love Jurassic Park 3, but I hated the third Alien movie. That's the one where they're on a colony the whole time and the whole plot is just centered around rape. I didn't like that.
Yeah.
She's the only girl on the planet. I hated that shit. But Alien 1 and 2 was really good. I love the fact that they took a throwaway joke from the Predator movies and then combined I forgot what Predator movie it was, 2 or 3. I want to say 2, where you get to see the alien or the Predator ship, and in the background it shows skulls from different alien races, and there's just a xenomorph skull on the shelf. And that's because the same guy worked on both franchises as far as, I forgot his name, the guy who did all the puppets and stuff, worked on both series. And
Jim Henson?
No. I don't remember who did it, but that's not the point. It was supposed to be just a gag that you saw an alien skull in the background, and then they turned that into a side franchise, like of Alien versus Predator, which those movies are terrible. And they fuck up their own canon so much that you can't follow anything. And it's very unfortunate. You know, and then there was, what was the fourth Alien movie? Resurrection or something like that? That also was very weird, but it was okay-ish. But anything past that, and it's just really hard to watch. Because, like, the Alien vs. Predator movie, after it had been very much established that the predators prefer to hunt in tropical climates and they don't handle cold very well, what's the first thing this fucking movie does? Puts them in Antarctica.
Puts them in a cold climate. Yeah, I remember.
So there was so much. Like, I watched a very in-depth video that explained everything that had went terrible and wrong with that movie, and it was such a shame because I like the premise. It's just terrible execution. But I did really enjoy the last Predator movie they made. Not the reboot, that was awful. But they did one that was set in Native American times.
That was the one that just recently came out too, if I'm remembering correctly.
Right. And it was
that one.
It was good.
So I saw the initial like setup for it, but I haven't actually watched it.
It was good. It didn't break any new ground or you know, it wasn't like a 10 out of 10, but it was way better than what we've been getting out of either franchise for a long time.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair.
Like, I defended Prometheus against people on the internet for years and years. And then they made a sequel to Prometheus. I forgot what it was called. But it was another one of those situations where they just said, fuck the canon. And they got so much stuff wrong in the movie. And the inconsistencies just kept piling up and piling up and piling up and piling up until it turns into Terminator, where you have such a muddled mess of nonsense that you just can't anymore. And I think they've reached a point with Alien where it's just, do you remember this? Do you remember this? Everything's member berries now. And I think that's what the new Alien movie is pretty much going to be. And I want to see that. Because I'm very much exhausted by the world. And I'm ready to just cave in and become another one of those people that just sits down, takes their nostalgia headache, and moves on with their life. You know?
Yeah, I feel you.
Because like I said earlier, capitalism is the #1 enemy of art and creation, and as long as that's in charge of our lives, we're never going to, especially with COVID, you know, being the final nail in the coffin for movie theaters and the industry as a whole. They can take a $2 million budget, pump out some bullshit, put it on Netflix, make 30, 40, 50 million dollar profit. You can't do that with theaters anymore because
Nope.
the budget for movies, like the big theatrical blockbuster movies, has gotten up into the hundreds of millions and it's spiraled so far out of control that they're making a killing by just slapping shit on streaming. So, which at the end of the day, I make it sound like it's a bad thing, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. I've seen a lot of really good stuff on streaming, a lot of really good miniseries that wouldn't exist without streaming being a thing. So there's always a positive in there somewhere. I've seen some good stuff.
I think one of my personal favorites was whatchamacallit. Give me a sec. Stranger Things.
All two
I
seasons.
really did
of it.
enjoy that. There's been what, 4?
4 released, 5 on its way, but anything after 2 is absolute ass, in my opinion. It fell to its own. Again, it just became member berries. Remember Ghostbusters? Remember the 80s? Remember this? Remember that?
I mean, I guess.
It also made the same. It also has the biggest problem that's grinding my gears right now is shit's overstaying its welcome. You could have done Stranger Things in 3 seasons, 4 tops. Made your point, wrote a cohesive story that was like a nice contained little universe, and then been
Jesus Christ.
Been the fuck done with it. But now they drag it out and they drag it out and they drag it out because they need a product to continue to sell advertisement time too.
I hate these enemies so much. Boo!
He looks ridiculous.
He should be dead by now. God, that was annoying.
Well, when you come up against a structure like this, you knew you were going in here to fight some bullshit.
Oh no, but still.
Yeah. That's what I was saying earlier about, like, The Simpsons has been on for so long that it's come around again to a full circle. While Futurama's in the corner doing God knows what the fuck it's doing over there. But no, Stranger Things was something that should have only been 3 or 4 seasons, and they're in the middle of making 5 at the moment. I'm just like, couldn't be fucked to care at all. I don't know what was happening in season 4. I hardly remember season 4. Nothing interesting happened. I remember that annoying song got on my nerves because they played it every 2 fucking seconds. And then that song got popular, and then I heard it everywhere I went. Every time I went to Walmart, every time I went to a grocery store, all I heard was that annoying fucking song from the 80s. Oh, Stranger Things just...
You talking about if I could?
Yes. I fucking hate that song. I hear that. When I hear that come on somewhere, I want to punch a hole through the wall. Every 2 seconds in Stranger Things, that song played. But no, it's, you know, it's very frustrating to me because when I was growing up, I didn't understand why adults were complaining about media like that. I thought, what do you mean too many seasons? I want this show to go on forever. I want this video game series to go on forever. I don't understand. It's great. As an adult, I understand now what the hell they were talking about. I mean, it ties back into what you were talking about earlier with Smash Brothers. Let's see. 64, Melee, Brawl, Wii. Ultimate is what? The 5th edition of Smash Brothers?
So, hold on. Well, we got 64, Melee, Brawl, 3DS, Wii U, and yeah, that one. Yeah, so 5th edition versus Mario Kart, we have SNES, N64, Game Boy Advance,
GameCube,
DS, Wii, Wii U,
3DS,
3DS,
and Tour.
Switch version. Yeah, and then Tour that came out, and then Mario. Oh my god, don't even get me started. We had 3 of those just on the fucking NES alone.
Yeah.
You had Mario World, Mario World 2 on the SNES. We had a Mario game damn near on... Actually, we've had a Mario game on every fucking console release so far.
And there's
Like
a natural... Yeah, and there's a natural time and a season for all media. Things, they come and they go. They blow up. They become really popular. It becomes part of the zeitgeist. And if it has staying power, it stays. But unfortunately, that free market kind of ideal situation of like, well, if it's not popular, it'll go away. That's not a thing anymore. A company owns something, they're going to hang the fuck onto that something. And if
they're going to milk the fuck out of it.
If they put it out and it fails, they put something out and it fails, they'll shelve it, come back in 5-10 years, try it again. I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
I don't get it.
But
not a huge fan about it either.
When I watched Breaking Bad, the first 2 or 3 seasons, I was captivated, and then it went on too long. When I watched Game of Thrones, I liked the first 2 or 3 seasons, and then it went on too damn long. I can tell when a show has reached its zenith, and then they start to like, well, we need to keep it going. We need to keep it going. We need to keep it going, because a lot of nothing starts to happen. The Walking Dead, the first 2 seasons was nonstop action and drama.
Oh my god. Don't even get me started about those shows.
Then it falls the fuck off.
I'm sorry, but like the fact that The Walking Dead is like all those people were just causing too much fucking drama. And like the comic books were even worse with that bullshit. Cause like I read the first couple of comics on it and was just like, this is boring as fuck.
It is a drama. That's what it's supposed to be.
I get it, but it's boring. So like The Walking Dead is fucking soap opera with zombies. That's all it is. That's 100%.
I was gonna say that before
like,
you did. It's a water cooler for nerds. Water cooler show for nerds.
It literally is just annoying as shit.
So that's where I'm at with my media right now, is being just very
I get it.
fatigued by decades of series not like gracefully bowing out and knowing that they've run their course. And it happens. It happens to everything we love too. Like no matter how big a fan you are of something, there comes a tipping point and you're just like, okay, I'm done. I'm out.
I get it.
I forgot why we brought all this up. We were talking about one series and I can't remember what we were talking about. It wasn't Smash. It was before Smash.
You know, let's give you a 50% consumption.
The hell were we talking about?
Dick. You done fucked up, AA Ron.
Now, video games have an interesting take on this. There's a little bit of difference when it comes to video games. I will say that because fundamentally there's the problem of it being interactive. Let's say you take something like Terminator, for example. That movie came out in 1984, and they did a sequel a handful of years later. It wasn't too far. I think 90-ish, somewhere in there. But it was never meant to be a franchise. It's supposed to just be a one-off movie, just a concept. Like, hey, isn't this a neat concept? Okay, we're done. We gave you the concept. That's the end of that. Take something like Final Fantasy, for example. Same thing. Studio's going under. They're failing. You know, they have one last shot at making a game and making it successful. That's where you even get the name Final Fantasy from. And lo and behold, you know, the damn thing was popular enough to save them.
So your voice is kind of tipping out on me.
Is it?
Yeah.
Let me see if it's doing
you
on stream.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Double check on.
Not doing it on.
Keep on us.
Not doing it on stream.
Okay, then it's just me.
But the difference between like visual media, like movies and shows, and video games is the fact that video games are interactive. So if you've come across a really fun concept, you do want to keep that going. But how do you keep it going in a way where it doesn't suffer from the same way that, say, TV and movies suffer? Well, Final Fantasy, I like to think, is a good example of that, where each game is new story, new characters, new art, new everything, but it's the same mechanics, more or less. It's like,
for the most part, yeah.
in my opinion, it's like it's like, how do I explain it? It's like having a VHS tape when we were kids and a board game. We could take the VHS of, say, Jurassic Park, we could put that in and watch it and love it and have a good time, and then we put that video back on the shelf. We could take a board game down like, not Monopoly, I hate Monopoly. Let's say we take down, I don't know, Sorry, and we sit and we play Sorry one night. We have pizza, we have show on in the background, we're just goofing off, we're playing tabletop games. When we're done, that game gets put back in Xbox and gets put on the shelf. And then we don't play that game again the next day. We play something different. Maybe we meet every Friday for tabletop games and we put a movie on and play games. We're not going to play the same game every weekend. So that's where you get into the problem of TV and movies. It's not different. It's the same over and over and over and over, but in a bad way. You have expressed this through Pokemon. We all like Pokemon, going back to its origins. Ignore every sequel ever made. Pokemon was fun. It was a neat little Game Boy game released in the 90s. It was very memorable. It had a mechanic that kept us coming back, the trading aspect to finish the Pokedex. And all in all, it was just a neat little RPG in its own little pocket universe. 30 years later and 1,000 different spin-off games later, and I'm just like, okay.
I feel you.
It's the mechanics I like now of the series. It's familiar, it's nostalgic, it's member berries, and I will, like the yuppie that everybody else is too, I'll keep buying every goddamn one they make because I'm an idiot. But I don't want the same characters and the same area. I want it to be new, like Final Fantasy. I expect new cast, new Pokemon, new area to explore. I expect that with each game that's made. But that's not enough anymore either, because we have all gotten so tired of the 8-gem Pokemon League format. And Game Freak knew that, which is why they made somewhat of an attempt. When Sun and Moon came out, they said, okay, no more gyms. How about you do trials and things? Which cynical people were like, well, that's still just a boss fight every couple of, paces into the game. And I'm like, well, dude, that's just how a video game's structured. Get the fuck over yourself. You said you were tired of gyms. They took out the gyms. What more the hell do you want? But it really boils down to how many years for the rest of your life are you going to go back and play Pokemon Red and Blue versus do you want to keep seeing a new game every so many years? How many weekends for the rest of your life can you and your friends get together on Friday and play the same 5 board games you have on the shelf before you're like, okay, we want something new to play? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I'm going to do this a couple of times, just go up and down so I can get some EXP, all right?
Got it. So I guess what I'm trying to say at the end of the day is there are positives and negatives to a lot of what we see in our media. So much of what we consume has just gotten stale, and they just won't let it die. But at the same time, with some series, you don't get enough entries, like people have been demanding an new F-Zero for a long time, and Nintendo just won't deliver. And it's because those games sell poorly. So they're not going to move on that. Well, I don't know. It's just that our big
sell
age.
Poorly is the wrong word.
Well, in comparison to their other franchises, I guess I would say.
Yeah, because, they're still selling about 1 million copies.
That's not good enough anymore.
Apparently not.
Again, that's more problem with capitalism. Under capitalism, enough is never enough, and that's fundamentally the reason that art dies. Again, capitalism.
Oh my god.
You have one game or one movie or something that's successful. It's not enough to just let that be its own thing and walk away. You got to franchise the hell out of it. It's got to be an ongoing nightmare for decades of lunchboxes, t-shirts, action figures, tie-ins.
No, that was him and not her.
But yeah, at our big age, I think the fatigue is finally setting in like big time with me. And I'm starting to really feel it, you know.
Yeah.
And I think, oh, it was Alien. That's what we were talking about. That's what sparked this whole conversation. There's a new Alien movie out, and I want to see it, but not because I think it'll be good. I want to see it as a curiosity. And not one of those, it's so bad that it's good movies. No, it's not going to be that at all. I want to see it so that I can know in my heart of hearts that I'm done. That I don't need to be loyal to any one franchise anymore. Because that's the mentality we all, whether we like to admit it or not, we have our biases that tie us to certain franchises. And we hate to admit when they have petered out or have a garbage entry in the series. And
these jerks again.
Because I was in hella denial when Jurassic World came out. Hella denial. And then Fallen Kingdom came out, and I was like, it started digging its way into my brain a little bit. And then when Dominion came out, the third Jurassic World movie, that's when I had the final epiphany. Because I went and I saw that movie alone in theaters. And when I walked out of the like at the end when the credits come up, I was like, I felt nothing. I didn't feel happy. I didn't feel mad or sad. I just felt nothing. And like I went by McDonald's and got a tea, and then I hit the highway on the way home because the movie theater's out of town for me, and I had a drive to get home. And the whole drive home, and the whole time I was sitting there in that drive-thru waiting on my tea, I was like, did I like this movie? Did I like this movie? I kept asking myself that over and over the whole goddamn way home. Did you like this movie? And that was kind of...
I watched it and was just like, eh.
Oh, it's awful. It's awful. But you have failed fundamentally when you go and your audience can't even come out of a movie and be like, I like this, I didn't like this. I was just so flabbergasted by the movie that I didn't know how to feel. And I was in denial for a little bit over it, you know. And it's just... The same thing happened to me with Pokemon. That happened to me when X and Y came out. When X and Y came out, I was so happy with what we had with Black and White and Black and White 2. Those were so like 10 out of 10.
And those were decent games, to be fair. Like this one just was not as good as it could have been.
But I experienced the same thing with X and Y that I did with Jurassic World Dominion. After the game, I was like, did I like this? Did I not like this? I was very much incapable of making up my mind. Because my complaints about it were that there were too many side characters. Like I remember when you play X and Y, that's the one that's set in France, and that's the one that you had the little fat kid and the two little girls, and then that other guy, other little kid. Like there were just too many goddamn characters around you at any given time, and the game stopped every 2 seconds to introduce or to bring back one of those characters. It was the handholdiest Pokemon I've ever played in my life, and I just remember being like very disappointed with it. And then when Sun and Moon came out, at the time, you were very adamant about, I'm sick of Pokemon, I'm sick of the 8 gyms, I want them to do something different. But it wasn't just you.
Blame me though?
No, I'm not blaming you, I'm just saying that's what you said. And so was everybody else. People were tired of the formula. So Game Freak was like, we hear you, how about this instead? And people, that's when it became a fault of the people and not Game Freak. Game Freak heard you, gave you what you wanted, and you still weren't satisfied. Now that's where I took umbrage with the player base.
See, no, I'm sorry. Sun and Moon was not a majorly different title. All they did was just repaint the gyms to Trials. That was no difference. And then they just added this little feel-good story that they've done in every damn Pokemon game since fucking Black and White.
Well, see, that's where
or
I
Diamond
disagree.
and Pearl, even.
That's where I disagree.
Like,
First
the
and
Trials
foremost,
were not the same shit.
Well, it's a video
the
game,
Trials.
and it's an RPG. You're going to have to
Okay.
have bosses. That's how an RPG functions. And that's what I was saying earlier
okay.
about the other people bitching about it online. So I think what you're saying about the gyms being repainted,
But
as
you're still
Trials,
minimizing their opinions and their feelings towards it. Like, you're
'Cause they're
basically telling them, no, you're 100% wrong because... And here's my thing, Eric. The problem with this is you're not looking at it from an outside perspective. You're looking at it from a very biased perspective because not only is that game one of your favorite games of all time, it's also one of those games that has really helped you with a lot of personal struggles that you personally deal with.
Hold on. How did you come to the conclusion it was one of my favorite games when I hate it so much?
Pokemon?
No, specific. We're talking about Sun and Moon. We're not talking about the whole franchise as a
I'm
whole.
talking about Pokemon specifically.
I'm talking about just Sun and Moon.
Yeah, see, I'm talking about the franchise.
Well, that spirals into a larger conversation that derails the conversation we're having.
Yeah, well, again, it's something you enjoy, is it not?
It is and was, but it's slowly becoming not,
Okay.
which is the point to the entire overarching conversation that I'm having. It's just what I'm saying is people were bitching that Pokemon was the same game every time. They did something different, and instead of acknowledging they did something different, everybody got the panties in a wad. It's not on
Yeah,
Game Freak,
because-
that's on them.
We expected something different, and all they gave us was the same thing with a different coat of paint on
I
it.
disagree. I wholeheartedly disagree.
I do
Did
not.
you play those games all the way through?
Yes, I did.
Really, did you now?
Yes, I did. I played Ultra Sun all the way through.
Then what came after that? After that, it was the big switch to the Switch.
Yeah,
Sword
Sword and
then
Shield.
They did the tie-in for Pokemon Go, Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, which I'm not going to discuss.
Oh yeah, those were the ones.
because that's a side
Nah, I mean,
thing.
they were remakes. Well, they were also remakes
Yeah.
of the original.
So we'll
Which,
just go.
that's a fine thing.
We'll go with Sword and Shield. Sword
I mean,
and Shield.
I didn't get into those because I didn't like the catching mechanic they did in there, but I mean, that's
Yeah.
neither here nor there.
That's why I said we're skipping those. Sword and Shield brought it back to the 8-gem format, but they were on the Switch and the big screen now. So that's where we can really get into the conversation of why Pokemon is where it is now. Because Game Freak said, we hear you, and then they gave people what they wanted with Sun and Moon, and then people shat on them. So Game Freak was like, well, fuck you. We'll go back to doing what sells. We'll go back to doing what works. If you're going to be such a little bitch about it, we'll go back to doing what we were
Which,
doing.
actually, let's be fair. The Sun and Moon series, I think, was the lowest sales of the Pokemon franchise.
I think it may have been, which again, that's not Game Freak's fault, in my opinion. I think that's on people who are addicted to nostalgia berry or member berries. Again, it goes
I
back.
don't think it's the whole member berries thing.
I do.
I think it
I do.
actually. I think people have valid arguments when it comes to this stuff.
I do and I don't, because those people, the people I'm talking about, will get on Twitter and they'll whine about something being too samey, and then the company will give them something different, and then they'll whine about it being different and not being samey. It's the Sonic cycle. And right now, everything that we know and love has fallen into that cycle. We get on Twitter, we bitch, we moan, we complain. Why is this game just like the last 30 years I've been playing? Do something different. Company hears you, they give you something different. Why is this game so fucking different? I want my nostalgia, I want my member berries. That's what I'm talking about. That's what happened with...
It doesn't happen like that, though.
It
and
did
that's
with
the
Sun and
thing.
Moon. Which is why you got Sword and Shield. And, Sword and Shield were middling at best. I didn't really necessarily care for them.
So like Sword and Shield, I didn't hate them.
Yeah, I didn't hate
They weren't
them,
my
but
favorite, but I didn't hate them.
I liked it more
They're
than I
like
liked.
what we call butt rock.
Yeah. It was definitely a game.
It's rock, but game.
It's like bread.
It's a game, but
it's like bread. Bread is edible. It'll keep you from dying, but it's bread. It's bland and it's like eating air.
That's Lay's potato chips.
Well, I was thinking like white bread, just very generic American white man bread.
Still has.
But getting to the very fine point of this entire conversation is Scarlet and Violet.
Those are halfway decent.
Those are probably the worst Pokemon games ever made. Top to bottom. I could sit here and go on for days about how terrible those games are. Which shocks me to no end that you would say you like them because they're awful.
Well, I actually watched Tiffany play all the way through it, so.
You saw the graphics, the glitches, the bugs, the open area with nothing in it, just an entire continent of just fucking nothing but grassland, and you thought that was acceptable.
Yeah, thought it was okay, but I mean, here's the thing: are you comparing it to Sword and Shield?
I am, and I'm not. I am, but I'm not.
I mean, it was a game, but
it was barely a game.
And that's what I'm comparing it to. Like, it was better than Sword and Shield, which was okay.
In my opinion.
Oh, cool. Let me go ahead and.
But see, don't forget.
All this shit.
My opinion and your opinion aside, Game Freak is another one of those developers that was such a tiny developer that ended up catching lightning in a bottle, and that's ultimately what fucked them, because they've never had the staff or the know-how or the experience or any of the equipment or technology to ever build a AAA title. They were a niche, barely existing company in the 80s that somehow, again, captured lightning in the bottle in the 90s. And from there, it's just been them trying their goddamnedest to make the best thing that they can make over the years. And you want to talk about Pokemon peaking, it was probably during the DS era. You know, you had Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Fire Red, Leaf Green had just been released on the GBA before that console, you know, saw its retirement. You had Black and White 2. So that was the peak era. That was Game Freak, like, at the height of their creative prowess and being able to make a game. After that, it was just an onslaught of diminishing returns. And by the time we get to Scarlet and Violet, even the developers have become so cynical over their own product. They have fucking said as much online. You know, they talked about how...
What is this?
I don't know. A golden enemy, it looks like. But yeah, Game Freak has acknowledged online that Scarlet and Violet failed to meet their own expectations. They've acknowledged the bugginess, the graphical errors, the fact that it looks like an N64 nightmare, which again, that's more the Switch's fault and them not being able to put it on a better console. But no, it's...
Well, I mean, that actually is one of the follies of Nintendo. Ooh, we're out of the rat race. We don't care about hardware. Oh my god.
No.
Our players don't care about hardware.
Yeah, we do, motherfuckers.
Who do you... My thing is, who do you think bought your fucking shit?
I don't expect my Nintendo console to rival the PlayStation in graphics, but I do expect it to be competent.
Agreed.
Now, I do want to touch on something you said earlier. When you said Pokemon was very critical to me and it had been there for me in trying times. All that's true. It's very true. Which is very, like, important to the overall conversation we've been having, because I'm at a point in my life where I'm very fatigued by all of my own franchises that I'm into. I'm very much hungry for new stuff that I've never watched before, played before, seen before. I'm past the member berries part of my life, and I do look forward to future Pokemon games, but they're going to have to fundamentally do something different and change their shit, because I don't know how much longer I can buy the same game that I bought for 30 years. Now, as far as Pokemon Go is concerned, I think I have reached my tipping point with them, because not just because the premise has run its course, but the company that's in charge of it. I hate so much now that I can't turn the game on without it, like, it's ruining my whole day.
I just gotta be honest with you. I personally think the entire reason Nintendo's actually suing Palworld is because they're wanting to build a Pokemon game like that with those kind of graphics, and I think that's, kind of where they're actually going from this.
It is possible, because Game Freak did say on Twitter that the graphics were a large part of their own kind of remorse over the way that Scarlet and Violet turned out, which that sparked an entire debate online of, well, that's the Switch's fault. Well, no, that's Game Freak's fault. Well, no, it's this. Everybody started pointing the finger at whose fault it was, instead of it being a little bit of everybody at the same time.
Oh yeah,
because the Switch 2 should have been out a year or two ago, if not sooner. But no, it's Pokemon Go was I don't know how to explain it. It was an alt universe lightning in a bottle that the original in the 90s captured. You know what I mean? I don't know how to explain it better than that. It was only meant.
They did a wonderful job at promoting and advertising it, and that's why it got as big as it did.
Well, it was also in the member berries. Like the franchise had just hit its what anniversary did they come up on? The 20th, I think. It was somewhere around the 20th anniversary. So it was about time for like the collective masses to say, "Oh, I remember this from 20 years ago." That's honestly, in my opinion, what made Pokemon Go so successful, was that people who hadn't played Pokemon in 20 years were remembering the Game Boy and remembering Red, Blue, and Yellow. And that's what made Pokemon Go so huge culturally, because that shit died off fast and you were left with just a dedicated player base. And then, of course, Niantic made a god tier amount of money, and then coronavirus came, and then Niantic lost a god tier amount of money, and that's when the greed and the fuck shit really started, because they stopped paying close attention to their releases, and every time they did bug fixes, those bug fixes would in turn cause other bugs. And I'm not even to the normal rate that happens with developers. It was to a comical rate, to where it's all anybody talked about on Twitter. And it became a running gag that every time that Pokemon Go got updated, it was going to break 12 other things. And Niantic decided to fire a bunch of its people. Then the greed continued to get out of control. Everything that used to be free in the game was now paywalled. They used to be good about giving out like free research that you could go out and do and play and have fun. Every bit of that's now like 99 cents or $5. I've turned Pokemon Go on last night, and I noticed that there was a ticket for some event for $12. And you can't use in-game currency. It has to be real world money to buy that ticket.
Nope.
And that was the moment I uninstalled the game from my phone.
Yeah, I had installed it a while back. After they took away the, us being able to trade or battle, or just all the shit they've done, all the changes they've rolled back, just really upset the shit out of me.
Yeah. They've never added long distance trading. We've only ever been able to battle long distance. They changed all of
long distance is what I'm thinking about.
They took the remote raid passage, which didn't exist prior to COVID. That was something they had to create because we couldn't be out in public during the lockdown, and it was a way to play and keep the game alive on live support. But then they jacked up the prices of those tickets, and everybody said, "No, please don't do that. You're shooting yourself in the foot," and they didn't listen. So now Niantic makes it your problem that the player retention is gone or is horrible. So now they're charging $12 a ticket, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm done with this. Again, I'm at a point in my life where I can't take the fuck shit anymore. I'm a cynical adult now, and I can look at stuff and say, I used to like this franchise, but...
Alright, you're dead. You're irritating me. Boom! Died!
Killed that member, Barry. He looks like one.
Oh, I remember.
And I'll tell you, that's one of the funner things about having a YouTube channel and having a Twitch channel is that I get to sit here and espouse all my views and opinions. And if anybody comes into chat and they're dissenting, we can have that conversation as long as it's respectful. But you can't do that on social media. You can't do that on like Twitter or Threads or anything. Because the second I open my mouth and give an opinion on those platforms, here comes 18 different people out of the woodworks to harass, target, attack, not even debate, just fucking pile on with the trolling and the bullshit. So I like being a content creator in this thing.
Three-way attack. Yeah!
And I know how that comes off. It sounds narcissistic, but it's not necessarily the way I view it. It's born out of necessity, you know?
Oh my god, you little bastards. I hate you.
I know we've been talking for a while, but it also feels like we've been in this building, in this castle, for what feels like an eternity now.
I mean, for the most part, we have been.
Yeah.
You should be about dead, my guy.
But, the reason all this got brought up, the reason I decided to have this conversation today on stream, on the channel, was because lately Nintendo has been going above and beyond. Like, they've always been litigious, but like lately it is times a billion. And every day I see an article where Nintendo has come after somebody, attacked somebody. They want you to take this down, take that down. They come after entire websites. They don't want you to know ROMs exist. They don't want you to know emulators exist. Now they're coming after people over using their music and blogs and stuff and YouTube, which they've always been bad about that. None of the other companies are doing this. Just them. And if the other companies are doing it, they're doing it to such a minuscule level that it's not noteworthy in the news to where it comes across my desk. I don't get up every day to an article about Sony, you know, or Microsoft going after some website. I only see that with Nintendo. And
you are correct.
And it sucks. It really, really sucks. But you know, and
like, how can you defend them at this point?
Well, you can't.
They're doing such major fuck shit there.
You can't, which sucks because I'm going to keep buying their stuff. I'm going to buy the Switch 2. I'm going to buy the next Pokemon game. I'm going to buy the next Mario Kart.
Only thing that's going to make me buy the next Switch is going to be if they...
Smash Brothers?
Yeah. Sorry, I got sidetracked by the attack he did. Yeah, it's pretty much just going to be Smash Brothers is going to be the only thing that makes me want to buy it again. That's it. That'll be the only reason. That was the only reason I bought the Nintendo Switch to begin with. Now, there have been some decent RPGs on there that I've actually purchased because of. But... I mean, that's it. Obtain Turbo Ether.
At this point...
Feed Capsule.
It's become such a daunting task for me personally, and I know a lot of other people, a lot of other people who are considered minorities for whatever tag they're attached to probably feels the same way about what I'm about to say. But the constant having to keep up with who you're boycotting and who you're not allowed to buy from and who's been canceled this week and last week, it's become so massive that we can't keep up anymore. I saw a list the other day of companies who are ending their diversity programs in hopes to like skirt around different laws and things that will cut out a lot of protection for minority employees. And it's all big name companies, Ford, Home Depot, just, you know.
Ooh, look at these little fucking Cronenberg looking motherfuckers.
Huge companies. Little Cronenberg T-Rex things.
They look like the Cronenberg monsters from the Rick and Morty episode.
They do. You know, they kept that going to this day.
What?
Yeah. Remember the other day when I told you that I quit watching Rick and Morty for multiple reasons, one of them being that it just got so wildly hard to keep up with? Yeah, now they lean so hard into the infinite universe thing that now you can just kill Rick or Morty, whatever the story wants. You can kill any character and just pull another one out of a universe 58 billion, and it's like they never died.
Basically the Simpsons argument.
Yes. Nobody can ever die, but everybody dies. It's very off-putting. But going back to what I was saying a moment ago, like I'm tired of keeping track of everybody who's up to shenanigans. I can't do it anymore. I know that
Just keep up with the major ones.
Well, I thought that too, but I can't do that anymore because all of them are major. It's like, it goes back to the argument of, do you separate the art from the artist? I can't even keep up with that shit anymore because every goddamn day, a new musician or a new director or a new somebody has diddled somebody else that's either underage or somebody's been Me Too'd or... And the right will say, well, then that's on you, you liberal snowflake. You ought not be canceling everybody. No, we should be canceling people. It's called holding people responsible for their shitty behavior. That's what it's not cancel culture, it's consequence culture, you fucking redneck piece of shit. It's just getting so hard for us to keep track because there's so many of you scumbags out there that we can't fucking keep track anymore.
Every attack's gonna miss, isn't it?
Probably. But you know, that brings me back to Nintendo. It's like, people are going to be like, oh, well, Eric, you're boycotting Chick-fil-A and Hobby Lobby and this company and that company and this company and that company. But now that it boils down to Nintendo, all of a sudden you're going to change your tune and not boycott them. And I'm just like, I get how it looks, but I'm just so fucking exhausted. You know, I cannot do this anymore.
I saw an article where they were trying to sensationalize the whole thing with Valve doing moving away from arbitration agreements. I'm just like, I mean, it's smart on Valve's behalf. Like, why keep arbitration agreements in place knowing you're going to have to physically pay for those? Because you encourage those arbitration agreements to begin with.
I didn't even keep up with whatever the hell's going on with Valve.
That's basically the short and tall of it. Yeah!
But yeah, apparently Nintendo has gone after another Switch emulator. And Tyler sent me that article. Of course, I had read the article last night before I went to bed. He saw it when he woke up because we're on two different like time schedules for work and everything. And all
I was doing was just sending it to him, and just, to be honest with you, Diane, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, when I saw it, I was like, I can't do this anymore. I don't want to.
He started like raging at me, and I had to be like, first the fuck off, dude.
Well,
I was not shitting on Nintendo this time.
I didn't rage. I just said, I don't want to see this anymore. Don't send me this anymore.
I got it.
Mainly for multiple reasons. One, yeah, I'm so fucking sick of hearing about Nintendo doing shit. At this point, you're just sending me stuff I'm already seeing anyway, so it's a moot point to send it to me. But yeah, that's where I'm at in life right now. I'm not necessarily just caving in.
Yep, up.
But I'm just tired. Ooh. It's just a different version of the thing you fought already. Or no, it's even the same color as the thing you fought already. Did you die?
I think so.
And I wasn't paying attention.
No.
I don't know. But yeah, that's a 2-hour discussion on where I'm at right now in my head. You know, I'm
mentally.
And Tyler and I had this conversation privately on the phone just about a month ago. You know, he and I were having a frustrating conversation back and forth because we were talking about the whole donating blood thing. We're on 2 different pages about that. And I told him, you know, I expect people to do the bare minimum. I expect people to be decent people. And I woke up today to see that P. Diddy had diddled a handful of children under 9 years old. And I'm just like...
Did you just now see that?
I knew he was in trouble for that kind of behavior, but I didn't know the extent of what he had done. I knew he had done something, but I didn't know what he had done. And I was thinking to myself, the bar is not low anymore. The bar is fucking gone. It has just dissolved into the ether. And I'm out here asking everybody to just be decent people. Just be decent. I'm not even asking for your best. I just want you to be decent. And I don't get that anymore out of any living human being. I don't.
Oh my God, you dick. Put that right there. Then we'll do a megalixer. Oh my God, really?
But there was a YouTuber not too long ago who said something very vapid, and I took that and it stuck in my brain like a brainworm, and I can't get it out. And that is, the YouTuber that I was watching is a year younger than me, so they're doing that thing where, like, even though they're 39, you go ahead and just bump it up and say you're 40 because it makes conversation easier. And they said, you know, we are taught when we're young to stand on our morals and principles, but it turns out to be a distraction as well. It turns out to be one of those things where the game was always rigged from the get-go, so it doesn't matter if you stand on your morals or principles. And I disagreed with that, and I still disagree with that. But I understood the spirit of what they were trying to say. And I've reached that point with media, at least, to where I expect the bare minimum, and I don't get it. It's not what we get anymore. So it's not that I want to turn a blind eye to the bullshit. It's just I'm so tired, you guys. I'm tired of hearing about what Nintendo's done. I'm tired of hearing about this, that, and the other. I just want to play my games. I don't care.
Oh my God, really?
The other day I was thinking about this. You know how everybody keeps saying that this has gone up and that's gone up, like gun violence has gone up and this has gone up, like crime has gone up and murder rates have gone up, yada yada yada. If you actually look at the statistical data in the United States, no, all that's actually gone down considerably. It's just we've entered a new age that we've never seen before, and that's the information age. Everybody has a camera in their hands at all times, day and night. So you're seeing more of it, but it doesn't mean there's more of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I got to thinking, that's why you're seeing a lot of the Me Too stuff. That's why you're seeing a lot of these things come to light. This stuff has always existed. Everybody's always been a gutter trash bag human. It's just that they've always been boomers and Gen Xers that get away with shit because everybody wasn't walking around with a cell phone in their hand. So a lot of their habits are coming to light. So sometimes it can feel like this is happening constantly, but it was always happening. We're just filming it more. And then I got to thinking about, you know, how we've entered a little bit of a kind of an enlightened generation with Gen Z and Alpha and everything. And they're more accepting, especially of the LGBTQ and whatnot. And they're learning not to call.
Gen Alpha? No. Gen Z, yes.
Okay, we'll just stick to Z because I don't want to touch Alpha with a 10-foot pole. My point is, Gen Z is a little more accepting because they grew up in accepting times. Now, will that always be the case? I don't know. But I did have a pretty bad thought, and that is that they're going to be just as scummy as, you know, millennials, Gen X, and the boomers. It's just they're going to hide it better because they grew up with the technology.
Well, it's possible.
That's my cynical adult brain being like, no, people are still going to be trash. They're just going to get caught less because they grew up with technology. Now, what happened with Gen Alpha? What'd they do?
Gen Alpha is just actually proven to be a lot more homophobic than a good bit of the previous generations before them.
What's causing that?
Schools, probably.
I was going to say, it clicked in my brain the second I asked. From.
Yeah, that too. Oh no, you totally confused me, bro. We even had anybody commenting right now?
No. There's people watching, just nobody commenting.
Yeah. Well, 2 of those are going to be us. You dick.
You did say you were going to be riding this elevator back and forth a lot to kind of grind it out.
I did that earlier. Yay! She learned Megaton Bomb. Cool. Another one. Oh, you bastards.
Here,
I gotta go ahead and throw this.
Sending wave after wave of their own men at you.
Pretty much, yeah. You got a hit. They're just trying to confuse me right now. 2 of them are going to avoid status ailments anyway. Which sucks to be them, but whatever.
But yeah, if, you know, going forward, if you guys see me like contradicting myself or seeming like I'm a hypocrite over something. No, I was going to say the opposite. Like, just fuck off. Mind your own business. I'm tired, and I'm not in the mood for that shit. And I don't just mean today. I mean going forward. I've had enough of that. Like I said, do I want to boycott Nintendo over their fuck shittery? Absolutely, I do. Am I going to do it? No. No.
Hypocrite.
And I'm willing to accept that because I'm old. I'm set in my ways, and I'm just. It's every company. Again, it's about who's doing it in the public eye and who's doing fuck shit behind the scenes where you're not seeing it. Like, my faith in humanity is gone. My faith in the individual person is almost gone. But my faith in any kind of like company, organization, government, or anything, that's been gone since I was a teenager. I don't, but you know, there are companies out there that are supposed to be the good guys, like charities and stuff that are supposed to be the good guys. And it turns out they're just as evil as everybody else. And I'm like, what do you do? take PETA, for example. You're like, okay, people against, people for the ethical treatment of animals. On the surface, that sounds fantastic. I'm for that too. But then it turns
well,
out...
the problem is they don't have the practice of that.
Yeah,
That's
it turns
the
out
issue.
they do a lot of shady stuff. On top of being the #1 killer of animals around the globe.
Yeah.
Yeah. PETA puts down a lot of...
Okay. I will in a bit.
I've done tried to stop 5 or 6 times.
We're live, by the way.
How are you?
You're good, man. I'll holler at you in a little bit.